Hello, it's Jay here again and welcome to another tutorial. So in this lesson, because I think when we come round to actually testing the effects on health, it would be easy to, or easier to see those effects in game so we can see that everything's working correctly. I thought in this lesson we'd actually get the GUI in place. So we're going to begin right at the very top and we're going to create of type private bool underscore health GUI, close that line off, into the comments, creates bool that we'll say defines if the health GUI is active. And for those of you that's seen my other tutorials, I'm sure you'll recognise the code here, but for those of you that haven't seen the other videos, let's go through it all. And then below that we'll create of type private, we want vector2, and we'll define the texture size. So we'll put texture size underscore in front, and we're going to say that's going to be equal to a new vector2. We'll open and close brackets, close that line off. We'll say 150, 15. And obviously you can have this any size you wish. Let's put that into the comments. Defines health texture size, and below that we need of type public. We're going to say texture 2D underscore health, and we'll call this background texture. Close that line off, into the comments, create slot in inspector to assign the health background texture. And let's just copy that, we'll paste it in twice. The first one will change to underscore health, and we're going to say bar min texture for minimum, and we'll put minimum into the comments. And for this next one we'll change it to underscore health bar max, and we'll just change background to maximum, and we'll save that off there. So that's all our variables in place. Let's come to the void awake underscore health GUI equals false, close that line off, into the comments, set health GUI to false on awake. And now let's come to the void update. You can put this anywhere you like. I'll put mine at the bottom, I think. We'll say if open and close brackets input dot, and I'm going to say get key down. Obviously you can create a button if you wish. We'll open and close brackets. Inside the brackets we're going to say key code and dot, and then just pick a key, and I'm going to use the letter E. Again, you can use any key you wish. So if input equals the E key, we'll come to the line below. We'll say underscore health GUI equals, and then we're going to use the exclamation mark underscore health GUI, and this creates an on-off switch. So this is basically health true and health GUI false, because that's how we use exclamation parts. For false is not, and various other things, but that's how an exclamation mark is used in code. And in the comments, let's say toggle health GUI on and off. So with that said, let's come down to the very bottom. We're going to say, in fact, I'll put the word private in, private void on GUI, all capitals apart from the letter N here. We'll open and close brackets, we'll open and close again. Inside the brackets, we'll say if, open and close brackets, inside the brackets, underscore health GUI double equals false. Let's put that into the comments. And I want to keep them in line best I can, so about here. If health, sorry, I haven't put the little forward slashes, we'll say if health GUI equals false, come to the next line, we'll return, close that line off into the comments, then do nothing and return. On the, well, we'll come below here, we'll copy and paste that line in, and we'll change this to true. We'll also come to the end of the line and we'll open and close brackets again. We'll change the comment to true. So if we activate the health GUI, we need to do a few things. And the first thing we need to do, in fact, I'll create a line break here. And I'm actually just going to put a comment in to start with. We're going to say draw health background. We'll come to the line below. We'll say GUI.draw texture. Open and close brackets, close that line off. Inside the brackets, we're going to say new rect, and then we'll open and close brackets again. And we're going to position it on screen, and we're going to say 2.5f, comma 2.5f. And I'll explain why I use them values very shortly. Comma, and then by the texture size we want. So we're going to use texture size dot, we'll define the x-axis plus 5, comma, and then the same thing, texture size dot, but this time for the y, and again plus 5. And I'll explain the plus 5 in a moment. But we'll come in between these close brackets, we'll say comma, underscore health, and we want the background texture. So let's break this up for commenting. And we'll put this into the comments now. We're going to say, we'll just say draw texture at this position, come to the next line, by these dimensions. The next line, we'll say and draw health background. And we'll come below here. And now I'm going to put in another comment, and we're going to say draw health. So we're actually drawing the health itself now. And we can actually copy all of this. Let's just copy and paste that in, and we'll change what needs to be changed. So we need to change draw texture to begin group, and we'll change the comment to begin GUI Group. And we're going to change from 2.5 just to 5. And the texture size, we're just going to get rid of the +5 on both of those. And as for drawing the texture, that is not needed. We're just defining where we're going to begin the grouping of GUI. So I'll come back now, and I'll need to change that comma to our normal semicolon. So I don't want the health being drawn right in the very corner, really squished up as far as it can go by using 0. So I'll give it a little offset for where we actually begin to draw the health itself by 5. So 5 in from the top, 5 in from the side. But I want to see the outline of the background texture behind it. So to do that, I'm going to use half of this value here. And obviously that needs to be double for the texture size. For example, if it's overlapping by 2.5 here, at the other end of the texture here, it also needs to show by 2.5. So it needs to be both those added together, giving us a value of 5 on both texture sizes. So I hope that explains how this works, but let's just copy and paste that in again. So we'll draw texture again. We'll change the position to 0, 0. Now this isn't the position on screen now because we're in a group. 0, 0 actually represents 5 now, because that's where we begin the group, 5 in. And we're starting at 0, 0 within this grouping method. So I hope you all understand that. If not, I suggest you probably go and read up about GUI on the Unity website. But that's how it works. We're now within a group, so the position and dimensions are comparable to where the group begins and ends. So I'll get rid of the +5 in the texture size, and now we need to change what we're drawing to the health, and we want the min texture. We want to draw that first. So we're basically drawing back to front. We draw the background, we're going to draw the minimum texture, and then the actual health texture itself over the top of that. So let's just change the comment from health background to and draw health minimum texture. And that's all we need to do. So let's copy that again. We'll paste it in below. And all we need to do is say that our texture size on the X is going to be times our player health bar length. The position can stay the same. And we'll say by these dimensions in the comments, and in the, I'll put little brackets in the comments, and we'll say X defined say defined, we'll say by health bar length. And now we want to draw the max texture, so we'll change that. We'll also change it into the comments. And now we need to just end the group, which is easy. GUI.endGroup, open and close brackets, close that line off. Inside the comments, we'll say end GUI group. And we can save this off now. Let's downsize that. We'll wait a moment for it to recompile. We'll come to our FPS controller. And let's have a look. The scripts will assign the player health. And I've created some simple textures just in Paint. And we'll assign those as appropriate. So I'm just using black for background, a grey, a very light grey colour for empty, and red for health. So let's hit play. And it may just take a moment to start up. There we go. Let's hit E. And as you can see, our health bar is now toggling on and off. And obviously you're not going to see any variation because we have no code to actually reduce our health. So our max texture is always going to be showing at the moment, but not for very long, and we'll pick this up in the very next lesson. So as always, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I hope to see you next time, and until then, as always, bye for now.